So I know loads of people are getting ready for this massive bull run. The prices are going to go up like crazy, but I don't think people are preparing the right way. I think you're actually a little bit behind. Like you've got to get a move on. Um, a lot of people are looking at this thinking, I need a certain amount of money. I need to just put my bets on and wait and hope that that's going to happen. But I'm trying to tell you in this video that you don't have to leave it up to hope. You can actually just force it to happen. You can force yourself to make $200,000 this bull run at least. You can just force it into existence. So I'll introduce myself for everyone who's new. I'm Lewis. I make cryptocurrency super easy to learn. And I've created something called the Block Flow program, which is the best crypto program in the world, undeniable, undisputed. If you're interested in knowing how that works, it's like this, but on steroids. So click the link in the description. We're all thinking about it wrong. It's not about money first. It's not about sitting, waiting, hoping for crypto to go up so that you make some money in the market. There are actually two other things that you need to focus on, which are more important, that will allow you to force the desired situation, the result, into existence. It will force it to happen. Like you can just power of will it. You can will it into existence. It's kind of crazy. So money being the focus is not the way to go. There are two things you should be doing right now to prepare for the bull run. And yes, it's not going to be easy. Like it's just not going to be easy. This video, as I said in the title, is not an easy video to kind of take in as a viewer. It's not going to be fun, but it will make you money, and it won't make you money in the way that you think. So the two things that we're going to focus on are you, and the next one would be who you want to be. It's too long. So with these two things, you can get to the result just by power of will. So let's come over and do this. So obviously we go over this in great detail in the program, but from a bird's eye view perspective, you have two states of being. One of those is you, and then I'm going to put dy, desired you. So this is where you are right now, and this is who you want to become. You have to acknowledge that these two people are actually completely different people. They're not the same. I've said, or maybe it's next week's video or this week's, I can't remember. Your body changes your DNA. Every cell in your body changes physically, completely rejuvenates, completely is replaced every 5 years. So the body actually is already doing this adaptation. It's already changing into a new entity all the time. It's like, that's what it does. So we can do it too, mentally. We can, if our brain, every cell in our brain changes every 5 years, we can do it. We can change the way our brain operates. And that is actually the way that we make this money. So there is only one way to understand this whole situation, how this makes money. Because you are you, you also know what isn't you. So you can actually set the aim. You can set your aim for your desired self, your desired you. The more detailed you can make the desired you, and the more defined you can make you, and the more awareness you have of you, the clearer the path is to get there. You can clearly set the steps. Like, for example, I don't have a six-pack. I want a six-pack. I know that I have to do ab workouts, right? And because I know what I need to do, I know what I shouldn't do, like eat burgers or whatever it is. Do things that are opposite of the desired self. But the reason this isn't easy at all is because as you go into you, you have to admit a few things. You have to admit that you are the result of everything that's happened to you. So let's do this. This is you. And we're going to put you in a box because you've done it to yourself. We've all done it to ourselves. We are all a result. We've put ourselves in a box. And that box is the accumulation of everything we've ever done. That means everything we've ever done in travel, relationships, jobs, learning, school, everything we have done has created you as a person. Okay? So, in light of that, sorry, that's my program over there, a little flow chart of my program. I'll move that out of the way. I'm not going to spoil anything. And so, if you are right now someone who has a portfolio of $30,000, right? That is exactly what you deserve. You deserve no more or no less. You deserve exactly $30,000 in your portfolio. And it's because everything that we've done, every choice we have made has contributed to you becoming that person who makes 30K. Your desired self over here, they have 200K and they make 200K every year, or their portfolio is 200K. And that is entirely their fault. This person has made choices, has made decisions, has built habits that make that person a 200K portfolio person. You cannot become that person unless you become that person. This is a different person to you. Yes, it might be your desired self. It might be your future self. It might be inevitable. But you cannot argue with the fact that this person has made specific decisions in their life, choices, has applied habits in their life that don't exist in your life. They are a different person, and therefore they are exactly a 200K portfolio person. They're not $1 million person. They're not 100K. They're 200. They have made their own bed. So isn't it funny how it's just how we make our bed that determines who we are? So everything that's happened to you, you could say this 30,000 person has had a traumatic childhood, right? Trauma. But how this person how you dealt with the trauma was X, let's say. This person went through the exact same trauma because this is the future you, but they handled it in a different way, in Y. And then there's someone else over here who handled that same problem in like Z. So this person, X, Y, and Z, are different ways that you can handle that trauma. They all handled it differently, and they all are different as a result. You are the 30K person. This person is a 200K person. This guy dealt with it in such a way that makes him $1 million person. It's all about the inputs that we create in our life, and the outputs end up being different, right? So with everything, there is an input and there's an output. What you put in directly affects what comes out. If you put bad things in, bad things come out. If you put things that are conducive to making more money in, like learning, self-discipline, good habits, accountability, you'll get good things out. So what's fundamental to this, without the you part here, let me just try and scroll in. Oh. Without the you part, there is no direction to the desired self. You can't have the desired self without a current self. And so you have to have this ultra specific, ultra defined view of yourself, who you are, take responsibility for all the jobs you've had, the reactions or relationships that you've had in your life, where you've traveled to and the experiences you've had, the way you've learnt, your attitude towards learning. All of these things make you who you are. And knowing who you are begs the question, who do you want to be? And how detailed is that? Because the more detailed your desired self is, the quicker you'll get to your destination, because it's just a straight path. You know exactly the steps to take to get there. And so that's difficult to look at, because as you look at yourself, you realize, man, I don't handle rejection very well, or I actually have this weird desire to be liked by everyone. And you really get into it, and it gets quite revealing about yourself, and it's uncomfortable. This is why it's hard. But this is the stuff that makes you money, because you actually have to change to become the person who makes the money. It doesn't just happen to you. You have to become the person who makes that much money. And so if we're now focused completely on this part of the process, the steps, you can't have the steps unless you have complete awareness of the destination. Otherwise, you're aimless and you won't end up where you want to be. And so, yes, we've ticked off you in this situation. We've handled you. Now we need to know who we want to be. And if you can figure this out, really, it changes everything, because you all of a sudden know how to become the person who is different to you. There's a different person. You can become a different person, but you can't become a different person unless you understand who that person is. And so the level of complexity and depth that we go into in the program on this, just to build out that understanding of what it takes to get to your desired state. You have to, and just to go back, sorry, I'm jumping all around here. To go back to the you part, this is all a nightmare. To go back to this part, you have to understand so much stuff about yourself. Like, what's my risk tolerance? How much stress can I take? What's my personality type? And how do all of these three things factor into my decision making? Do I understand the nature of risk? Do I understand the nature of stress? Do I understand it biologically so I can counter it in my actions? Because if we counter it in our actions, we make different decisions, we form different habits, and we become someone else. Maybe we become this person, our desired self, but we have to understand it from that depth to be able to actually make the difference in ourselves. And so when it comes to charting that path towards the desired you, the one who has all that money from this crypto bull run, your desired self, it's no good saying, I want $1 million. Yeah, let's just leave it at $1 million. I'm just going to get it. It's just going to come to me. No. How about we say, my desired self has season tickets at whatever sport. Okay, how much does that cost? Okay, let's say that's £1,000 a year. Okay. My desired self works out all the time. They go to the gym 4 times a week. Okay, 4 times a week workout. How much does that cost? Okay, so that's £50 a month. How do they? And we're looking at finances here, of course, but in the program we go through and I give you it's like templated. You can just fill it out. It's incredible. And then you figure out exactly how much it costs to live your desired lifestyle or be your desired person, so that you're under no illusions. You know exactly what it takes to get to where you are, because you've got that incredibly defined. And it's not just about money. It's about installing new habits and actions into your life, new inputs to create new outputs, to create new results. And so, what does my desired self think about religion? What do I think? What does that future person think about masculinity? Like, all of these things that shape who your desired person is. You have to acknowledge these things. Otherwise, if you don't, you'll never become your desired self, because you have to do it. It's all encompassing. It's all your effort that you have. All your attention should be on defining who you are, who you want to be, and the steps to get there become incredibly simple. They become incredibly clear, because you can just chart the course, because you know where you're trying to go with such specificity, especially in the program, where you've got like, this is actually how you implement these new routines into your life. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it over the course of a year. So in a year's time, every trait and every habit that your desired self has that you don't have right now can be installed into your life within a year. Like, we've got frameworks for all of that stuff. It's crazy. And yes, we get into like when to exit, how to exit, what to exit into, tax, and all of that kind of stuff. Yes, we do all of that in the program too. but this is a program basically in a system, a way of thinking that tackles you as a person first, and then your crypto will benefit as a result, rather than let's just focus on crypto and it's all about crypto, money, money, money. Let's just make loads of money. When in fact we're turning a blind eye to what actually matters, and that is that you have to change to become the person who makes good decisions, to be the person who deserves that $200,000 portfolio, who becomes the person who can handle the stress of a bull run in incredible fashion. You actually have to become that person first. It's like, it's like in golf, right? So in golf, I'm going to try and draw this, and I don't know why I'm going to try and draw this. In golf, there's such a thing as a hole in one. I've had 4 of them in my life. Yes, congratulations, me. Everyone clap. So a hole in one is where you're on the tee box, where you start the hole and you hit it, and it goes in the hole in one shot, right? Everyone knows that. You could say it's lucky to get a hole in one, but if you become a better golfer, what does that do to your luck? It removes the requirement for luck, right? You can be there as a complete beginner and hit golf balls for the entirety of your life at a beginner level, and you'll never get a hole in one. You might, but if you became a professional golfer, your odds of a hole in one go way up. So it's not luck. You could sit there and practice golf and become a better golfer, and you would increase your chances of being the type of person who gets a hole in one. Like, yes, there's elements of luck, but you can make your luck too. Like, you can become luckier, or you can become a person who the outside views as luckier, but really you've just become a better golfer. You've become a better investor. You've become a better person, and therefore the ins have changed, so the output is different and the results are different. So I'll like die on this hill. If you want to have a massive portfolio and have a really successful bull run this time around, become better as a person. The money will follow if you just become a better person. And I think, logically speaking, I've shown that. I've displayed that, how that works. It's a natural thing. You just have to become the person who makes that money. If you want to call to see how the program can benefit you, there's a link in the description. You can follow that. Make sure you watch the video. Yeah, that's that. Hope you all have a good one, and you can be the lucky beginner in golf, or you can just try and become a pro. All right, thanks, bye.